Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org, and we are also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs we have here on WNHHLP. And just a reminder, Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and ProCannabisMedia.com. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, November 17th, 2025. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I am your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy. I will be joined here shortly by Uncle Lou, but our guest is already here. So I would like to start the show early and bring her on, and her and I can talk a little bit about what's going on in the neighborhood this weekend, and we'll get right into the show. Uzma's going to be my co-host. So right now with me today from Bloomhire is Uzma Zakur, and Uzma is a pioneering pharmacist who witnessed the opioid crisis firsthand, driving her passion for natural healing with plant medicines. As a dispensary pharmacist and cannabis educator in Connecticut, Uzma has significantly influenced the state's industry. A cum laude pharmacy graduate, she now integrates internal medicine with cannabinoid therapeutics at her practice, Bloomhire. The company curates innovative plant-based products and provides education to help clients achieve profound wellness through the healing potential of nature's remedies. How are you? And before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsor. Gabe at Metatron Home Grow. Metatron Home Grow is the home for all your growing needs, whether it be for your harvest or whether you're just starting out. They have everything you need. They have classes on growing, extracting, bubble hash, cloning, bud testing, plant testing, grow tents, grow kits, lights, fertilizer, and soil. And he also has a new line of mycelium grow kits, if you know what I'm talking about, that you can go check out. He has two locations, 626 East Main Street in Meriden and 185 Boston Post Road. We always want to thank Gabe for sponsoring the show and helping support the cause. Please send him a little love up there. That's Metatron Homegrown, the place for all your cannabis homegrown needs. Okay, Uzma, I had to set the plug in there, but Abe is a mutual friend.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool over there. Everybody should go and check it out. He has that new place in Orange.
Yes, we just had the grand opening at the beginning of November. We had a lot of people over there. It was great. He just introduced a new line of fungi grow kits. So it's an all-in-one grow kit for whatever type of fungi you like to grow, including lion's mane or blue oyster or turkey tail and other ones. What do they call hillbilly pumpkins and penis envy? Those.
Yeah. B plus, all sorts of strains. I mean, the science that's coming out behind, the mushroom medicine is pretty phenomenal. I mean, from a one-time use, following up with different biomarkers, and then even, any type of continuous use, especially with things like lion's mane. I mean, really profound healing.
No, I agree. I have been using certain strains of mushrooms myself and have found that they definitely have enhanced my healing experience for sure. So I agree with you on that. And it's a whole area that has been explored spiritually and throughout the ages on a more communal basis, but now the medical industry is actually taking note of it. And
yeah, because what's cool is that, similar to what we have learned about cannabis, it just doesn't make you think you feel better, right? There's absolute physiological change that's undeniable.
Yeah, absolutely. Unlike some other hard drugs that we know. So Bloom higher, Uzmo. What motive? Well, did want to talk about one more thing.
Okay.
There's a cool event going on this weekend. It is called Goblets of Fire. I am going to be a judge. It is this
Okay.
Saturday, November 22nd.
Well, I love the name because I am a big Harry Potter fan.
That's right, Goblets of Fire. And it's going to be a bunch of all star judges with a bunch of all star strains. And it's a live judging. So I didn't receive a package or anything in the mail. I'm going to walk in this room and I'm going to be inundated with a bunch of different strains of cannabis from different growers. And apparently the growers will be there so you can meet them. And it's going to be a cool event. Bobby Nuggs is coming down from Massachusetts. He's got some, I think Gabe is actually another judge. So there's a bunch of judges from the local community, but also from Mass, and a lot of the strains will be coming from
Okay, so
around
I
New
have a
England.
question, Joe. So, like, if
Yeah,
you're going to try them like one after the other, do you think that's a real fair and accurate reading? Like,
I
what
kind of mentioned
now?
that to the
Yeah, it's
boys.
going to make a difference. Even people would come in, with questions. This is when I was at the dispensary, and where, all of a sudden a strain like wasn't hitting right, and I would ask them like, well, what did you get last week? What were you smoking last week? And then you see how like the percentages and the terpenes, it all affects. I don't know. I think that if I was the grower and if I was the judge, I would kind of really separate it out and just like not do anything except for that product that's in front of me, maybe for at least for a couple of hours, and give it that time and like understanding. But it's still going to be
Yeah,
fun,
and
It's still
that's what
going
I
to be cool.
figured.
It's
It'll be.
still going to be fun.
I've
I
never
mean,
done.
I
I mean,
guess
I've
you would want to go last. Maybe you would like the last one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they work it out. I've
Where
done.
where is this happening?
I don't want to. I can't give out the location. It's a secret location, but you can follow Goblets of Fire on Instagram and find out about it. Because obviously, I don't want to put it out the door because the wrong people might show up. But and we're also, I guess, they're also doing like a pizza judging contest. So they're gonna have pizza there from Modern, Sally's, and Pepe's. So we're gonna get high,
Any pizza?
judge weed, and eat
Yeah.
pizza all day, and judge the pizza. So I told them, you better you have a wheelchair to bring me out at the end of the day. You know?
I hope they know how much pizza to really bring. Like they
Yeah.
really can't underestimate that.
Yeah, because once you start smoking all that, the judges might really get hungry.
I know. And
So
there's times where I can put away a whole pie. So
yeah, depending on where it's from, absolutely. And you're talking the good guys, the good stuff, you know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So that's this Saturday, and I'm participating. And I did want to mention something before we get into Bloomhire. You and I are both working on a project with the tribe as far as educating them in cannabis. So that's a big deal that we haven't. Lou and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago when him and I taught a class up there.
yeah.
But I think it's a great thing, and I went there and I was very very impressed because we actually went onto the reservation. The presentation is held on the
Okay.
reservation.
All right, so my presentation is Wednesday. So I'll be going
Right,
for the first time with you this Wednesday. It'll be my first experience. I'm very,
right.
very much looking forward to being being able to fully include the spiritual and emotional healing that comes with the physical and physiological science that I'll talk about on Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to really relaxing and fully incorporating them both and just having a very authentic, honest
Yeah, I'm
discussion
really
on
looking
the
forward to
table.
your presentation because obviously indigenous and Native American people have been using the plant for years in their heritage in their history. And I think now is the time, especially now they have the right to grow. They have plenty of land up there. They're looking to get into it. They're interested in bringing that back into their culture, which
Yeah,
I
and I
think
think
is
it's
great.
going to be it's very important also because of the specific I guess, physical or comorbid different disease states that tend to be prevalent in those communities. That cannabis and plant medicine would be just wondrous to heal and get people, back to living their best lives, as well as hopefully, if they need to, a deeper, as I guess we all do, continue to deeper our connection with our ancestors and our own, timelines, and really understand our messages as clearly as possible, like you and I talk about, finding that
Yes.
stillness and that openness and that comfort, to receive your messages and your codes. And when we're struggling with chronic illness and physical illness, right, it's very hard to break through and to find that connection with your heart, soul, and spirit, right, which is what we do in session. And I feel
Yes,
like
that's
breaking out
a
of
lot of
those,
what I want to talk about today.
yeah, breaking out of that prison, which illness becomes, of mind and body and mind and body, and then the pharmaceuticals and the drugs further disconnect us from our higher self and the higher powers. And people, I think, are unfortunately, our brothers and sisters, unfortunately, start to turn against themselves and the divinity inside of themselves, and just become
Right.
so disconnected.
They
And that's
forget
where I
about
think
it.
this
Yeah.
this rising, for this plant medicine is happening, because it's really literally breaking out of that prison that we have placed, that has become on us, of our mind and body, and just getting our soul and our spirit awake and up and out there again.
Well, I think people are coming to the realization, like you did, and I want to talk about this a little bit, and like I have, that the current modern medicine does not is not geared towards healing. It's geared towards treating, and it's geared towards treating symptoms. And the methodology used is not a holistic approach. There's
Yeah, there was a big
everybody has a
change.
specialty. There's a
Yeah,
drug for everything, like you
yeah.
mentioned. And you
There's
were
a
on the other side, right?
Yeah,
You were
absolutely.
dispensing. You were dispensing the
Yeah,
poison. And at
yeah.
one point, you must have had a realization that first of all pushed you into cannabis, right? And second of all, pushed you out of cannabis into not out of cannabis, but caused you to expand what you were doing from just I'm a pharmacist dispensing cannabis. When did you have that realization that you were actually dispensing poison, and how did that affect you?
Thank you for that question. So I think I started before I got into pharmacy. The traditional South Asian background. I was told to go to pharmacy school, and I did. And so I'm very grateful. I am so grateful. It's exactly where I'm meant to be. But I had started off more natural and curious
Mm,
about farming and gardening and natural medicine. And even on a trip to Pakistan when I was in high school, I was really touched by the agriculture there and some of the growing methods. And I thought really that would be a path that I would take.
mhm.
And also, always in my heart knew, that cannabis was medicine, that if something came from the earth, it was a gift. It's a gift from God. We
Right,
can recognize poisons from healing compounds. I think,
right.
and we've talked about this, right? It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran, where God has promised us a cure for every disease. So as long as the disease isn't man-made, we have the cure for it.
And how did he provide it in every plant, everything available on the
Yeah,
planet, right?
food, plant, love,
Yes.
hugs, dancing, right? Right. Okay. So yeah. So then you were asking me about that. Um. So yeah. So I went through pharmacy, and then I feel like I kind of drank the Kool-Aid, but probably not fully.
Sipped
And
it. You sipped
and
it.
it was partly okay. It was two things. It was the opioid epidemic paired with the financial fraud that came with it.
Okay.
Okay.
And you realized that you figured it out, right?
Yeah, like how can it all of a sudden be like so safe?
Right.
you know? And then, so there was like a big switch, right, from cellular health to kind of what is focused on now in healthcare. And I think if we just return to cellular health, I wanted to say that before, so I just wanted
Right,
to
right,
put
right.
that in there. And then I think it was honestly my son, my first child. had like such bad like eczema, like
Mhm.
such bad red rashes, like his skin would bleed. I mean, as an infant, just a few months, he had a lot of trouble sleeping. Um, and then he developed food allergies. And I was like, and that and it's just started to
And
become,
he's young. He's a kid.
he wasn't even a kid, he was a baby.
Right.
And that had just started becoming common.
The sensitivities in the
The
babies. Right,
food
right, right.
allergies, the eczema, and then the asthma. And I'm
Right.
like, what's going on? What's going on? I didn't really know what was going on. And then when he started getting asthmatic symptoms, I was like, that's it. Like, I kind of got to find another way to go. And then I started getting into, I was introduced to this like world of like natural healing. So I started pulling away from Western medicine for healing my own family. So
Mhm.
then, and I was working at Walgreens like part time.
That's what I figured you were.
My
Yeah,
kids were
you're in
young.
one of
Yeah,
those places.
yeah, my kids were young. I wasn't like there all the time, but I realized I started like talking people out of their prescriptions. Like, do you know why you're prescribed this? Like, like what's going on? And then just such obvious like deficits, like, where like I remember a woman coming in, she's like, I've had a migraine for 4 days and I just went to the doctor and here's my prescription. Can you fill it right away? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. But like, hey, what'd you eat today? Have you drank did you drink any
Are
water?
you
Did you drink a glass
hydrated?
of
Right.
water? And she's like, I can't even remember the last time I drank water.
What's? I bet you his doctor never even
Asked.
asked
The
her
doctor never
that.
asked. And so many things. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was a prescription for Miralax. A young mother came in for a prescription for Miralax for her 1-year-old baby because she was
Oh,
switching the baby from formula to regular milk and had constipation. And this doctor prescribed Miralax. And I told the mom, I said, what you should actually do is slowly mix it over like the course of 2 weeks, and that's pretty common practice. So you have like 3/4 formula, 1/4
1/4
milk. Keep
milk.
adjusting it and let the baby get adjusted instead of doing that. And she was so relieved. And I was like, had one foot in the dispensary at that point, and then I was like, I
I'm
can't.
out.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
And of
And
course,
then
like
you
I had started giving
realized,
vaccines. They wanted pharmacists to give vaccines. So
oh God, yeah,
a
that'll
whole
do it.
nother thing that I didn't want to participate in. So it was divine timing that the dispensary and Brian Ascenter introduced me. So
He's a
uh,
great guy. Brian was my first
yeah, and that was
pharmacist.
in 2015. So
Yep, he was my first pharmacist over at CCC. So he introduced you. You got in the door, and then at some point, you realized the cannabis industry, the medical marijuana industry, wasn't so great, and you decided to strike out on your own, right? And this is when you started Bloom Higher, correct?
yeah, that was in the summer of 2023.
And so and I guess, I mean, obviously you were at Prime Wellness, and they were going through a lot of crazy stuff up there, correct? I mean,
Yeah, so my
buying out and,
no, I was at the Botanist in
oh,
Danbury, and
you're
then
in
under the
Danbury,
greater
okay.
umbrella of Acreage Holdings, which included Prime Wellness.
Okay, right. And they switched everybody over to the botanist. Okay, so and it was the
Yes, and
same
now
thing.
it's butter.
And now it's butter because they took over them. So
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with the cannabis industry. You never know who owns your company. I know that they started out, the botanist started out individually owned, right?
No, CCC, Prime
Right,
Wellness, and Thames Valley Relief were individually owned and were all bought by Acreage Holdings. And
no,
then they rebranded everyone to the Botanist.
right, right. So they weren't right. They rebranded everybody, and then there was one in Waterbury as well that was individually. Yeah, so that's what happened. The medical industry got eaten up by corporate entities. You know, all the dispensaries and the growers were already corporate. You decided to strike out on your own. So you started Bloom Higher, right? So Bloom Higher incorporates cannabis, obviously, into its therapies. Tell us a little bit about, so the people know exactly what you do at Bloom Higher, because it's not just, oh, here's some plant medicine and try this and try that. You have a whole program. you do sessions with people, and I would like to, towards the end of this show, actually, when we get to the last 15 or 10 minutes, I'd like to try and maybe do a little meditation, something,
Yeah,
a little treat, little session or something on the air that we
yeah,
can do together
yeah,
just to
yeah. I'll
show the
take care of
people,
you, Joe. Yeah, absolutely.
because it's amazing to me. And you have to try it for yourself to really know what the experience is like. But tell us, let's say somebody comes to you and they're like, okay, I have been working with the medical industry for 12 years and I've been suffering with the same ailment. Let's say something endometrionitis or something. I don't know, migraines, let's say, something, like that. A
Well,
chronic illness that I've been dealing with the medical industry and I have made no progress with them. As a matter of fact, it's got worse. But I got a recommendation from you, from somebody I know who uses medical marijuana, and they recommended you. Um, I'm walking in the door. What are we talking about?
so I start each client relationship with a complimentary 15-minute phone call to get an understanding of your needs and make sure that I can help and make sure you're not on any medications where there's a contraindication, and maybe I can be a resource for you, or I can maybe direct you elsewhere for
Right.
something also natural, but maybe something like that's a different approach. And also to get a feel. And then to have that conversation about what this session is going to look like. And really what I've recognized, and the reason why I like to start with these energetic wellness sessions. So it's really plant medicine wellness journeying. And it came about from a couple of different ways. So first, people would come to the dispensary and they've never tried any type of cannabis at all in their entire lives. And then you're like, they're spending a ton of money and they're going home and you're just like hoping it all goes well,
Hoping
right?
they use it
You dose them
properly.
too low and they get frustrated, it's not working. You dose them too high, they have a bad experience, it's so foreign to them, they're so nervous. And I used to always say, gosh, I wish we could just hold their hand, I wish we could just do it together, but you're not allowed to consume in the dispensary.
Right.
And so that was something that I really wanted to offer to people, for those of us in the cannabis community, and we understand the comfort and the how it soothes your anxiety and how it comforts when we're in pain, and we can give into this soft kind of gentle flowing space, right? People don't know that, they're not familiar with it, and they're afraid to let go and go into it. So that's where that idea of maybe, like the Sherpa or guide comes, where it's like, hey, I got you. You're really comfortable. We have a good understanding. I work hard at first having that trust and understanding, and then allow people to have that experience safely.
Mm.
Now, what I think might be surprising to people is that I almost never use THC in session. I use minor cannabinoids paired with flower essences. I use a frequency mat or a grounding mat. I use topicals for massage, and then my own just like my own healing warmth, to create a comfortable and sacred space. And then it is usually a high dose, because the goal then is for them to have this experience, not only to kind of let go and experience this plant medicine, but I want them to take them to a place of wellness in session so they remember what it feels like to be well. And then they have a goalpost. Because
Mm.
people who've been sick for a long time and people who have been in pain for a long time, they don't remember. They don't remember what it feels like to feel well. They don't
I
remember
can I
to
can relate. I can relate. I can relate.
go outside and get that breath of fresh air and feel the sun and feel invigorated, right? Those are things that we don't
It
talk about
becomes
that happen with
foreign.
chronic illness.
You almost have to remember back before you got ill, and it's difficult because you get so used to that discomfort, whatever that feeling may be,
Right.
that it becomes a part of your normal life, and you've learned to live with it, and you've accepted the fact that, well, I'm going to be in pain for my whole life, and
Yeah,
this
or
is
just
just how it
negative and
is.
despairing emotions and thoughts, right? Like a sedentary sadness that sticks. And
Like
so
I'm ill.
it's
It's a
almost,
mindset.
yeah. And so and it's an energetic structuring. So it's kind of like a gift I like to offer to people to again break out of that the mind and the body, and have this experience, whether we make it to the astral realm and do some traveling, or whether it's just they just feel so much peace. But the goal is that oneness, right? And feeling that connection, and to remind them that, like, hey, what it feels like to be out of pain, or out of this mental discomfort, and to just have that experience. So some people just come, and like, at their own cadence. I have a lot of people who come monthly. Some people come every 2 weeks. Some people come every so often. I have some patients who will come before their scans, before different tests and stuff, and it's been beautiful. And then from there, what from there, with all of that unburdening, right? I feel like, and putting the individual back in their body, back in the driving seat with some control. That healing process is so phenomenal compared to, like, the some patients that I have who don't do the energy sessions, like the difference in the healing. And that just goes to show, like, whether it's plant medicine or it's allopathic medicine, the relationship between the practitioner and the patient's understanding of what they're ingesting is so important to the prognosis and the outcome.
Yeah, you made a good point there. It's taking control of your health again. So many people have given up control of their health to the doctors.
Well, that's
Like,
because of how they have marketed everything, right? Like, it's genetic, you can't control it. Oh, we don't know where this comes from. Like, we were warning about pollutants and pollutions for how many decades? Like, why is it hard to understand that we're here now?
right. And so many people don't even realize how many of their chronic illnesses actually can come from diet, can come from nutrition. Basically, you're a certain lack of a certain vitamin or lack of a certain mineral that you have in your body that you're not getting through your diet or you're not supplementing. A lot of these chronic illnesses, they interfere with your ability to absorb nutrients and things like that. There's so much that goes
You have
into it.
so much control. Yeah, you do have so much control. In the end, right? Like, life and death is up to God, but we can do what we can while, we're here.
I think it's our duty to do what we can. I don't want to get, well, we can. Let's get spiritual.
Yeah, we
But
continue to
really,
take care of our body and
realistically,
take care
this
of our
it's a
soul.
temple. This body is a
But
temple for lack of a better word for God.
you are the sacred space.
Yeah. So you're right here in this body is not only you, but there's God. You know
Yeah,
what
the
I mean?
divine manifestation in the human being. Absolutely, right? And that's what we try to access in session. And I practice through the tenets of Sufism. The Persian poet Rumi is the most famous Sufi, most translated
Absolutely.
into the West. And it's those tenets that, the human being is a divine electromagnetic human being. And that we're not just
Yes.
mind and body, we're mind, body, heart, soul, and spirit. And the human condition is that we forget our heart, soul, and spirit. We get trapped in our ego and our mind and
And the
bodies.
material world
Yeah.
itself
And
is
so
a
it's the
draw.
practice of remembrance, to remember, our heart, soul, and spirit, and what's truly how we are
Remembering who
truly
we are.
intergalactic on the inside.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people are searching for enlightenment or whatever you might want to call it. The truth of the matter is, you're already enlightened. You just forgot. You
Yes.
just forgot. You were born that. Just think of a child in its innocence. In no sense, right? Innocence. Doesn't know right from good from bad. All the child knows is love and creating and its imagination, right? You were born in this state that you're trying to recapture. You were born this way. It is your natural state. And obviously, through life, we have the other aspect of ourself, which becomes programmed. Do you know which
Right.
is
Right.
like our day-to-day operating system?
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly right. Right, what we counter in session is exactly that. Is like It is the turning away from the ego and using the plant medicine to help turn off the racing and tricky thoughts of the mind.
Create like
Yeah,
connection between the two, right? Because a
yeah.
lot of times people's minds become separated. They don't realize that there's two different aspects. I don't want to say parts, but aspects of the mind. There's the functional aspect, which helps you operate on this 3D level, right? The function, everything, we down our ego, we down our program side, but let's be real, all our skills are there too that have been programmed into us. The ability to tie your shoe, all these are all things that are literally, your mind needs to be that way. But the problem is you haven't been in control your whole life of what's been going into the machine. It's been
Mhm.
influenced by your parents. It's
Yeah,
been
and then
influenced.
distractions and stresses and pressures, right? So you're racing from one thing to the next. So we're trying to find that again, clarity through stillness, right? And I
Right.
think that's a beautiful gift of plant medicine, that helps us get deeper inside because we can just kind of finally calm it all down, turn
Right.
it all down.
Right. And that's what the plants were always, at least for cannabis, was always used for anyway. It was used in original indigenous tribal methods, not as a recreational drug, not as something you
Well,
came
because there
home.
wasn't so much THC in it then, so it probably couldn't have even been if they tried. I mean, in medieval Islamic times, it was used as a medicine. I'm not sure what delivery system it was used in, and they were very like world renowned for their advances in medicine at that time.
Oh,
And
it's been used
yeah,
throughout
and
the
then back,
ages.
in South Asia, and but again, we know that the cannabinoid content was most likely quite different.
They
I
were
imagine
using
opium
hemp.
was
I
more
would I
popular
would assume it was
at
hemp
those times
plants.
for that recreational or for that type of a high, right? They used opium in those times.
Yes, if they wanted to get high, they used opium. If they
Yeah,
wanted medicine, they used cannabis.
yeah.
Or if they wanted a spiritual connection. For those who don't, and I have a gift for you, by the way. For those who don't know, if you're a Christian and you've read the Bible, there is the anointing oil that they used to use to anoint the high priests and the more enlightened beings, the holy ones, right?
I
And
have
it's
a Trinity
made.
oil that I use for
What's
patients.
that one
This is
now?
a Trinity oil that I use. It was a gift from Dr. Green.
Okay,
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's
and it
beautiful. It
had
opens
cannabis.
up
Is
energy.
that the one with
No,
cannabis? Okay,
no.
the original recipe has what they called the cannabis, Cannebos plant in it, including it was cannabis, frankincense, myrrh, and cassia, which is a really strong
Oh, this
form.
has CBD in it. It doesn't have THC. It has CBD in it.
That oil, I made a batch, is very powerful. Um,
I'm
and
blessed.
it's
I can't wait, Joe.
yeah, I have a bottle for you.
Yeah.
But people don't realize how far back it's gone and what it was really meant for. And I think what you're doing is trying to bring people back to that because you don't only use cannabis. I've taken your tinctures, your special ones that you give in a session, and they're totally different. That you use
Those are
flower
yeah, so those
essences,
are
you
the
use
flower
other
essences.
things.
I love flower essences. I mean,
Tell people about that.
when I meet a person and they're stuck and they're closed and to me, it's they're looking like this. Their whole spirit and their energy is like this. And we start the session and the flower essence just start a little twinkle of color and then some movement. So they're vibrational preparations. There's no plant matter. So they're literally vibes. They've been around for over 100 years and probably longer, right? And so they are vibrational preparations through a solarization process. So when the flower is, at its peak, and you ask permission, put it over a bowl of water in the sun and let it solarize into the water. And then there's a homeopathic dilution process, and then you use about four little drops at a time. So I work with some of the Bach flower essences, and I make my own cannabis flower essence every October over at Sean's farm in Harwinton, the CBG Gurus. I mean, I have what a magical place that is.
Oh, there. I want to have them on
They are
again
so
soon.
welcome and opening for me, and I just sit in the rows and I pray over the bowl for for all of us. And this year really a lot of power and beauty came through. So the next batch of products will have them. I have to get those over to Mike. And then I use them in session. So I make individualized flower essences, like in different combinations based on what we did in session or based what I understood that could help, and
Yeah,
just
you always get a little
keep
bottle to
the
take
little
home with
pink
you.
bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to keep the work that we did moving, not let anything get stagnant. Because some people do cannabis dosing regimens with me. I do CBD full spectrum. I work with CBN. I work with CBG. I work with lots of different delivery systems. I work with rectal suppositories a lot. Um, and so, but some people are also just coming for this plant medicine wellness experience, which is beautiful, and they don't need a dosing regimen, and that's great, and they keep up with the flower essences.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody does
Yeah.
something different that works for them. It's been really really great.
Hey, and you have a thriving practice. You have an office in Stanford, and you also work out of Fairfield as well, correct?
Yeah, so in Stanford, I'm with Ultimate Solutions Medical Spa with Dr. Jennifer Jose and Dr. Denise Green, and they're great. It's great to have for them to be so open-minded and to be so expressive in sharing with their group that they have a cannabis pharmacist, is really good for all of us. It's good for our community. And then I'm with Barefoot Living Arts at the Sportsplex in Fairfield with Dr. Mark Romano, who's a wonderful naturopath, acupuncturist, traditional Chinese medicine, and he does and leads qigong, and he makes a lot of really interesting potions and does some
Mm.
magical work too. And
I'm
it's
gonna
nice to
have to
have
come down and visit you guys down there.
yeah, you should, and it's nice to have that location in Fairfield to be a little closer to the rest of the state.
Yeah,
And then
Stanford.
Zoom. I also see patients all over on Zoom. The energy work does work beautifully through Zoom. And this week, Joe, I'm starting a Zoom meditation series to help us get set for the holidays. So to beat the winter blues,
I
power
got
up,
the email.
yeah,
Yes.
to power up our energy, set our armor tight, and get everything done that we need to get done without getting knocked down, spiritually or physically.
And when are you going
Um,
to be doing them?
Tomorrow it's at 10 a.m. Thursday it's at 8:30 p.m. And then next week, I think it says December 3rd is 6:30 a.m. So I'm trying different times to really give people the opportunity to figure out like what works for them. Everybody has such different schedules. I work with so many people who are doing different things in life that everyone has something different going on. So I'm try to be available for everyone. So I've got like a midday one, early morning, and then a bedtime one.
I want to write these down because I would like to go, and I'd also like to.
Yep, they're
If
on
you
my
could send me
Instagram, my
links, where
Facebook,
where
and
do they find it?
my Instagram is bloom_higher, HIGHER. And my website is bloom-higher.com. And I'd love for you to sign up for my newsletter.
I'm
And
on it.
so
I'm already on it. But
one
yes.
session is $11.11, but if you get all three, it's $25.
Oh, for the meditations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that's good, and you can sign up on bloomhire.com,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing three of them before the holidays. So that's good at
Yeah.
three different times. And
Yeah.
this is maybe we'll give a little. Why don't we give a little? We will not right this minute, but we will give a little preview of that on the air. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, we can
Something
do
for the
more.
for
We'll
the
do a mini
group. It doesn't
session.
have to be
We'll
just be
do,
for me. But I wanted to bring up something that really struck me, and I've been really, really high on this and talking about it on the air, actually last week with our guest and with Lou, is the body's bioelectric system. You do your sessions on a grounding mat, and there's a reason for that. And this is because I've certainly been able to access my body's bioelectric system through a lot of work. A lot of people don't realize we are electric beings. I'm not saying we have actual
Like
wiring in
electrical.
us,
How
but
our heart contracts. It's no
you're right.
mystery.
How do you
It's no
think our heart
secret.
beats? Why do you think when they
I'm just
put,
gonna grab my tea.
yeah, they have to put a pacemaker in, right? It's because we're electric. And a lot of us don't understand how we can actually charge up our electric system.
And you know what's interesting, Joe, that I'm just starting to see in back injury and actually mostly failed back surgery, that it seems to be an electric problem
There's a
that's causing
module.
the pain. And
Yes.
so I work with ASEA products, the
Yes.
ASEA products, to try to address like the electrical disturbance or disconnection in some of these like spinal and back injuries.
Before we get into meditation, we're going to do that in a couple minutes. I think people need to realize why our bodies contain iron, why our bodies contain all these conductive metals in it. The reason we have these things in our bodies, sodium is actually an electrical conductor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Iron is another one. We have all kinds of minerals in our body that conduct electricity. There is a reason for that. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got
And
the cards out, Joe.
okay, so
The
all
cards
right, real
are the
yeah, tell us about the cards. Let's say if we were
99
coming into
divine
this session.
99 divine names of God that we use in Sufism. They're really descriptions of frequencies that just make the universe happen. And they are always accessible and available to us. But again, sometimes we forget or we feel that it's veiled from us. So we are not aware of the beauty and the gifts that we're constantly receiving. So
Right.
what we do in Sufism through the acts of remembrance, or zikr, which is what it's called in Arabic, is to gently polish away those veils and those blockages so all this light that's inside of you becomes into your conscious awareness again, raising your vibrational frequency and hopefully pushing out inflammation and disease. I'm
Nice,
going to choose one
nice.
for you, Joe, as a focus point.
Okay, well, I'll pick the card. You hold it. I don't know where you picked it for me. Okay,
Yeah,
what's the card for the
it's a
day?
beautiful, well, they're all beautiful. Ya Hakim, the universal manifestation of healing wisdom. So,
Hmm.
very appropriate. It's the essential wisdom that brings all experience into balance and harmony, and it is the one whose wisdom is manifested everywhere. Okay. You want to get comfortable and close your eyes? So, if anyone's driving, please don't, I don't know, participate.
Okay. All right. I'll do it. Let's.
If they're driving, they shouldn't participate. So, Joe has been meditating for over 20 years.
Yes.
Um, and
With
let's see.
Yogananda. All right.
I'm going to take a few breaths to get centered. My feet are cold. So let's take 3 breaths together to harmonize. We're going to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth with control. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. God, we ask for your protection in the sacred space that is Joe and everyone on the call, to keep us free from all envy and jealousy from within and without, to rid us of all self-blame and self-doubt, and fill us with courage and clarity. and to reject, release, and keep us protected from any and all wickedness, witchcrafts, poisons, psychic theft, and negative entities. Yeah. Yeah, Hakeem. So I'm just doing a light scan of Joe right now. Hmm. It's like you have like outside pressure on from someplace else on you, and it's like sticking to you in a pattern like a tortoise shell. So let's clear that. So very gently allow into your awareness a warm ray of golden light coming from above through the realm of angels right onto the top of our heads. Continue to breathe. Allow it to flow gently down your face. It's warm and syrupy like honey, and it unfolds and unfolds in brilliant patterns like a kaleidoscope. It's full of protection and guidance, and it's always there. We're just clearing the way for you to see it and to feel it. It gently flows down the front of your forehead, over your eyebrows, through your eyelashes, and gently into your eyes. Allowing you to see yourself with compassion and care, and gently scrubbing your memories, releasing the pain and retaining and accessing the healing wisdom of it all. Scrubbing away all corruption and programming and manipulations, leaving space only for cosmic and sacred truths. You are beautiful and you are loved. This light works as a filter, allowing you to access and perceive all messages and codes, expanding your awareness and opening up infinite possibilities for your best outcome. Subhanallah. Allow this golden light to continue over your cheeks and your nose and across your lips like the sweetest, softest kiss. Allow this light to enter your mouth and cover your tongue and coat your throat, scrubbing away at last all lies that we've been told and all lies we've told ourselves. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum. Let that golden light go all the way down to your belly. And at the same time, continue down your chin and into your neck. It's soft and it's warm. and it's understanding, and it doesn't judge you. Now allow this golden light to enter your head and to enter your skull, into your beautiful brain, where with force it illuminates every corner and every crevice. Sweeping up all dusty corners. Allow this golden light to detach all synapses that no longer serve our higher purpose, and to unravel all programming that does not come from sacred truth. Creating an open mind with creativity and courage and curiosity to allow for infinite possibilities for our highest outcome. Find that place in the middle of your head, Joe, where your ears would meet behind your nose and brain. Now imagine the golden light that you're bringing in, absorbing right there into a ball, and with each breath it expands and contracts. Feel every type of cell in your central nervous system absorb this light. Every mitochondria within every cell, pushing out inflammation and disease and corruption. Allow this golden ball to expand, pushing out beyond your ears. Yes, again, pushing out all corruptions and manipulations and distortions. And feel it. Feel how you've expanded, and this golden light is now becoming your reality, right beyond your ears, sitting above your shoulder. Inhale and push this golden light out towards the front of your face, through your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and let it stay there. Push it up, out through the top of your head in gratitude to the universe. Allow it to rain down golden droplets all around you. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Send it out to the back of your head, 360 degrees, fully into your energetic field where you are protected and comforted. Lay down your vigilance just a little. And now, Joe, from that center point in the middle of your head, send it down to your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Yeah, Aziza. Gentle, healing wisdom.
Oh, I gotta sign off.
Okay.
Not yet. No, we can say goodbye.
Okay.
I just. All right, Uzma. Thank you so much for
How'd
that.
you
I
do,
wish we
Joe?
had more time. That was fantastic, magnificent, and wonderful. That was just a little taste of what we'll get on the Zoom healings. And if you come to Uzma, real quick, tell us a little bit about your products and then how they can get a hold of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can check them out at my website, bloom-hire.com. There are different combinations of minor cannabinoids with flower essences to really treat what I saw as being a pattern in the most common ailments that we're all dealing with. So, from panic to the shame and humiliation with PTSD and chronic illness, and what the wear and tear it takes on our soul and our well being.
Right, and I can attest that these tinctures and gummies really work, and they're great medicine. And Uzma, I would like to thank you for that beautiful session. I would like to thank you for coming on, and I will see you Wednesday with the tribe.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a
Yes,
beautiful evening. And
and
I'll
give
bring
a
samples. I'm going to bring samples of my products. It'll be nice.
nice, nice, nice. Uzma, it's always a pleasure.
Bye, Joe.
Love to see you. That's bloom-hire.com, and you can follow Uzma on Instagram, Facebook at bloomhire. And Harry's telling me I gotta go. Hit the music. You can follow me at Joe the Weed Guy and at Green Haven Media. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you this Saturday at Goblets of Fire. Thank you to our sponsor, Dave at Metatron Home Grow. We love you. We'll see you next week. Thank you again. Remember,